webinar on medical from US and UK undergrad courses. So before we begin with this webinar, there are a few important announcements that I will make so that you have a good, consistent, seamless, nice experience of this webinar. So to ensure that, first let me talk about the audio settings. We have kept all our audio settings at the optimal level. I'm sure, and do let me know if you are able to hear me clearly and there's no problem at my or your end. So if you can acknowledge, if you are able to hear my audio, if you can acknowledge by a thumbs up or typing yes or saying yes, so that I know that you are able to hear. Okay, right.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. We can able to hear you very clearly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Coming down to the video setting, we would recommend that if you are connecting from your laptop or your desktop, there's something called as a view button on right hand top of your screen. You should be selecting the speaker view there. So that will help you not get distracted by other participants moving in out of the webinar. Plus the speaker would be centrally on your screen and you will also be able to see whatever the speaker is sharing during the webinar. While this webinar is in progress, we will also request that if you can keep your screen name as your real name, the name by which you have registered with us, like I see most of you have done, barring, I guess, one or two participants. So if you can, so we'll be able to address you. If you have your screen name as your real name, like I see a participant by one plus any something. So if you can rename yourself as your real name or student's name or the participant's name, it helps us to not only address you, but also then, talk to you whenever you have questions. The second thing is if your bandwidth permits and if your environment permit, like I see Madam Chokhani doing it, if you can put your video in an on mode, it helps the speaker when they are addressing you. Otherwise, these are black tiles which are not very motivating to talk to. तो अगर हम आपको देख सकते हैं, आपसे बात कर सकते हैं by looking at your video, we can make those virtual eye contact, which helps speaker keep the tempo going. So I guess this was, there's one more announcement. If you can keep a copy or a pen if you want to, handy, it will help you write down some important information that will come your way, some important contact number, email IDs. If you want a PDF of this presentation, if you want a PDF of this presentation at the end of the webinar, what you could do is you will have to type a hi to a given number, which we will share. तो फिर आपको ये पूरे presentation का PDF file में मिल जाएगा on your WhatsApp. But that will be towards the end of the webinar. So I think on this note, let me hand it over to Anubhav sir. Anubhav sir, back to you. I think we can begin now.
So thank you, Manish sir. Very, very good morning. So let me now formally begin the presentation. We are on the medical webinar. So let me do a share screen. And please confirm if all of you are able to see this clearly. So this is how it is going to look like. Are you able to see this thing? If all of you can, at least some of you can give me a thumbs up. Yes, I do see a thumbs up. So this is how your screen would be, jaise Manish sir ne bola. So if you can do your settings, this is how it would be. Now, May or Manish are the two speakers and we'll alternately take you through. It should take us about 50 minutes or so. Between 50 minutes to 1 hour is what our talk would last, and it will be supported by this PPT. I would speak and then Manish and me would alternate, and we would do this alteration 2 times. So, and then we will take you through this entire presentation. Chaliye, let's get started. So the concept of this event is a value-added lecture workshops, which is primarily to promote awareness. So, जैसे मैंने बोला, जुलाई के महीने में our focus is largely study abroad. So this helps you to take informed decisions. What we did last Sunday was a webinar on application support. Students who are rising up late, उनका NEET या IIT नहीं हुआ है, उनको अब इसी semester जाना है. उसके लिए एक application webinar किया था हमने. This Sunday we are doing for medical, and that is medical in US and UK. Next Sunday we are doing general for study abroad. So this is the July month, and this is what we keep doing every month. Like if commerce ke bare mein, management ke bare mein. So these webinars are something which are very helpful. I had a parent today morning coming. वो बच्चा 10वीं क्लास में था. Parent was कि बच्चे को मालूम नहीं है उसको आगे क्या करना है. So my suggestion was let him hear out are these webinars, which are these career series, which will happen from. They've started in the month of April and will happen all the way up to November, December, January, February, where every month we will pick up one career and we'll be 1 or 2 careers and we'll be talking about those. So this is part of that series. So as part of this today, what we are talking about today, we'll talk about very quickly about universal tutorials. Who are we? Then the medical scenario in India ke bare mein baat karenge. And then we would talk about 2 medical options, one UK and one US. So we largely focus only on UK and US. And then both will be available for any question answers that you may have. Now, since both of us are involved in the presentation itself, I would request you do not send us a chat message. अगर आप भेजेंगे तो मैं या sir respond नहीं कर पाएंगे. But we'll be more than happy to take up your questions at the end of the presentation, and both would be available. You could unmute yourself and ask us questions directly. This is what I would be doing. और अभी again मेरी एक और request रहेगी आप सबसे, if you guys would be like I see 2 people only. I see Jitendra Khanna sahab और Mrs. Rekha Chokhani, जिनको मैं सामने देख सकता हूँ. If I can have more people whom I can see and look into it, तो ये generally मैं जब ये seminar करता हूँ, we do it in IMEI hall में करते थे, which was a physical hall जहाँ पे लोग बाग सामने दिखते थे. जैसे अभी सर ने बोला, अभी we are doing it in front of these black tiles. They are not really very motivating. So I would request people to turn on their videos and put their screen names. I have another lady who's turned on their video, but her screen name is something 1B9D20. अगर आप वो change करें, thank you Mrs. Jain, Richie Jain. I don't know that's your child's name or your name, but it's very nice to see parents turning on their videos, because मैं आपके आंखों में देख के बात कर सकूंगा. So वो बात करने में भी अच्छा लगता है. चलिए, so with that, let's get started. So first about universal tutorials. About universal tutorials, I started this organization now about 23 years back. It's been more than 35 students whom we have touched and contacted, and we've coached them in this journey of 23 years. We are having 7 branch locations in Navi Mumbai, and we cover the length and breadth of Navi Mumbai. We are in Airoli, Koparkherne, Vashi, Sanpada, then Nerul, Kharghar, and Panvel. So this is how we are in Navi Mumbai. And COVID has allowed us to expand online. And so we are now having students all across India, as well as some students across the world, where we coach students from Dubai, we coach students from US, we also coach within India, we coach students from all parts of the country now into our various program options. So that's about universal tutorials. What are that we coach? We primarily are coaching for board exams, CBSE and ICSE. So we have board exams, so we have students in 9th, 10th training for CBSE and ICSE. We have Indian exams. Indian exams are the IIT JEE, then NEET, then IPM. So these are the Indian exams which we train for. CA Foundation, CMA Foundation, these are the other Indian exams which we train for. And the third, we have a study abroad division. Study abroad division, today's webinar is largely about the study abroad division. So let me expand the study abroad division. In study abroad division, we are talking about core exams, which are SAT and UCAT, which is for medical, graduate GRE, English exams, TOEFL and IELTS, and we also help in preparing applications, which is the core of it. आपके सारे letter of recommendations, essays, SOPs, वो सब हम बनाते हैं. So we conduct and study abroad these various programs. और आज largely हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? हम primarily इन 2 exams के बारे में बात करेंगे, and we will concentrate about this section and about this section, medical. So this is what we'll be talking about today. So let's get started. So I directly jump into the topic for today, that is medical education. Medical education, then before I talk about abroad, let's do a very quick, what is the medical education in India ka kya scenario? Now, यूनिवर्सल फैक्ट नाउ इट्स बिकम, और अब तो कितने 10-12 सालों से हो गया है कि देयर इज अ सिंगल एग्जाम नीट फॉर ऑल एडमिशंस इन इंडिया. अगर आपको इंडिया में मेडिकल एजुकेशन परस्यू करनी है, सो इट्स वेरी सिंपल, वेरी क्लियर. Sorry, I had a phone. I have put my phone on. Yeah, actually. So there is a single exam. NEET. Admission to all medical courses are through NEET. Now, इसी में आगे बढ़ते हैं. What are the key numbers? And these are important numbers. If you will please understand, there are about 550 colleges in the country total, पूरे हिंदुस्तान में, which offer about 80,000 seats for various medical admissions. But how many aspirants are there? There is about 14 lakh aspirants. So take some time to absorb this figure. Total पूरे इंडिया में मिला के there are 80,000 seats only. And how many aspirants? 14 lakh aspirants. So there is a huge gap in demand and supply. So I repeat and I stay here for 10 seconds. So this is the number of seats and this is the number of aspirants. So it's more than 10 times. The gap is more than 10 times. So because of which medical studies abroad has become an option, but it's not an easy option. Let's go through that option. Kya hai wo option? Medical abroad, there are two major routes, non-merit route and a merit route. What is a non-merit route? पैसा देके admission मिलेगा. Merit route is through a recognized route. So non-merit route is, जैसे मैंने बोला, characteristics is low rank universities and countries. They could be in low or high costs. They do not really require any good academics. आप बस पैसा दो और एडमिशन मिल जाए. Modus operandi, there are commission agents all over the place. You can attend hotel fairs and you can pay and get admissions. Result is you may go abroad and study. जैसे बच्चे जा रहे हैं मेडिकल स्टडीज में, they are going to Kazakhstan, they are going to many countries. Ukraine गए थे अभी बहुत सारे बच्चे, but difficult. Manage own placements. What is the merit route? Merit route is highly ranked universities. They could be in either low to high costs, and scholarships are available, but they need good academics. You really need good academics. Process is you have to appear for an exam and apply, and then you can get admission. What is the end result? You get good placements. That's the end result. So let's see what are the popular countries. Now, Asia and East Europe में China, Russia, Nepal, Bangladesh, Poland, these are countries जहां पे वो वाला non-merit route ज्यादा popular. I'm not saying कि यहाँ पे merit route के कम है, लेकिन यहाँ पे non-merit route ज्यादा है. Developed countries, US, UK, Canada, Australia, यहाँ पे the merit route is more applicable. Today, me and Manish will be focusing on this part of it. We'll be focusing on how you can get admission in US, UK, Canada, Australia. We are not talking about these countries. We are not discussing these. We are discussing countries. This is what we are doing. So, having spelled this out clearly, let's me now go ahead and start talking about. So developed countries, there are two models of medical education. And I call these models as a UK model, which is the way India operates. In fact, India is modeled on lines of UK. That is, after 12th, you directly get an entry into MBBS. So that is the UK model. तो MD के लिए आपको 6+3 9 years का लगाने पड़ते हैं. MBBS 5.5 साल की, देन उसके अंदर फिर 1.5 साल का रेजिडेंसी और 2 साल MD इंडिया में करके, तो करीब 9-1 साल लग जाते हैं इंडिया या यूके मॉडल में MBBS करके MD बनने में. सो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट MD बनने में 9 साल लग जाते हैं. US मॉडल में इट डजंट वर्क दिस. you cannot get a direct entry into MBBS after 12. तो आपको क्या करना पड़ता है, आपको एक बेसिक ग्रेजुएशन करनी पड़ती है, दैट आई विल डिस्कस इन डिटेल. तो एमडी बनने में आपको कितना टाइम लगता है, 11 इयर्स लगते हैं. 4 + 4 + 3 11 इयर्स लगते हैं, एंड दैट इज द यूएस में. Now both me and Manish will discuss these models alternatively. Manish would concentrate on the UK model and I would discuss the US model. And so you have your questions, listen carefully and keep recording. ये सब presentation का PDF last में हमसे मांग सकते हैं and we will be more than happy to share the PDFs also with you. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next section, I'll now invite my colleague Manish to take over from you, and he will help you with the UK model. Manish sir, all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anubhav sir, for laying the ground and giving that introduction to our talk today. So the whole idea of the talk that we are doing today, is to possibly ignite the spark and tell you that there's a lot to know about. शायद एक 40 मिनट के वेबिनार में to talk about everything in detail may not be possible, but the idea is that we tell you that there is an option and there are various ways of pursuing that option and there are some requirements for that option. So वो हम आज आपको बताएंगे, and down the line we'll also share our contact numbers where if you want you can go for a one-on-one customized counseling to understand which option works for you and are there any special requirement given your case. So ये पूरा अभी का जो objective है, that objective is basically to ignite that spark and to inform you that there are something which is very very basic in nature you must know as you are taking decision or as you are deciding. So मैं वहां से चालू करता हूँ जहाँ पे सर ने छोड़ा. So I'll talk about UK as an option. So medicine course, we are talking about MBBS, which stands for Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from UK. So we are talking about that. I'll restrict my scope to United Kingdom and then Anubhav sir will talk about US. So the scope for today's webinar is UK and US largely with respect to medicine as undergrad course. So these are some of the questions that I'll try and answer. Why UK? Where you can do it from UK? How and when? I mean, what are the timelines? What are the requirements? What is the cost structure? So I'll answer what part of it. Are there any scholarships available? I'll try and answer all of this coming down to the first question. Why study MBBS in UK? So first, a very objective reasoning. UK has some 40 odd universities which would figure in top 600 medical universities in the world. So you look at any ranking, you will see that UK, United Kingdom would have some 40 universities, जिसमें Cambridge and Oxford and London College and Imperial College, all those are there. The average salary of doctors, physician in UK is 67% more than of any other health or medical occupant. And I could say that they are also fourth in the world in terms of pay package that a doctor would get in UK. In other countries, it would take you, अभी हम आपको दिखाएंगे, not India, but other countries like US, it could take you 12-13 years to be a specialist, whereas in UK, you could complete your MBBS in 5 to 6 years and another 2 to 3 years, you could do your MD. So the courses are very competitive. Every year, thousands of students would get admitted into various universities in UK offering medicine courses. And here is the list of universities which you will see are some top-notch universities, not only in UK, but in world. For example, Oxford, Cambridge, University College London, Imperial College, King's College, Edinburgh and Manchester and Glasgow. So these are various universities to इनका medical department are world known. ये जो आपको numbers दिख रहे हैं वो ranking है. These are world ranking. From QS ranking is my source where I bring this. Now, when you're talking about UK and doing medicine, you may be given 3 course of action. Rather, you could be put on one of the 3 courses or 3 path to follow. And this would largely depend upon your academic profile. The most common path is the standard entry for medicine, where usually you would do it in 5 years, but it can be 6 years. you get degrees like MBBS or MB, CHB. It would require very high academics with your science subject, especially in bio and chemistry or physics or mathematics, but bio plus chemistry, physics, mathematics, whatever subjects you have taken. So in the standard route, you would be put on this. So if I talk in terms of the requirement, it could be, like 3 A's in your science subject, bio, physics, chemistry, where we are doing exceptionally well in these subjects. The second path could be a preliminary year. So for somebody who may not have as strong academic as in the previous case, so they would want some A's in your profile. अगर आपके कुछ A's हैं और कुछ B's हैं, then maybe they will put you in this. This will be a 6-year course where there will be 1 year which goes into basic training, or there could be a gateway course which is slightly longer for students who have decent but above average grades in the 12th board exams in science subjects. So you would be put on a gateway year where you are doing some foundation courses first, and again doing your biochemistry courses as bridge courses for 6 months to 1 year, and then you are getting into the mainstream medicine courses. So depending on what grades you have and which universities you have applied, you could be put into a standard entry mode, or it could be a preliminary mode, or it could be a gateway year mode. So it depends, and it would depend on what kind of profile you have. So how do you get into a UK med school? There are some requirements that we need to fulfill. Number one requirement is decision would be taken on your 12th board marks, and you could be coming from any board, any Indian board. So this could be a CBSE, ISC, Maharashtra State Board, or your state board, or an IB board. And for every board, they have given a specific requirement in terms of marks they have. Overall, I can tell you they would want you to excel in your bio subject plus chemistry, and physics, maths, or any other subject you have. You need to do well in them. So 12th marks are required, very high academics are required. So 12th ke marks becomes very, very important input for your medicine admission after 12th in UK. So 12वीं के बाद आपको medicine UK से करना है. Your 12th board marks become important. Like I said, they are board independent. You could come from any board. There's no preference given to a particular board. ऐसा नहीं होता, but only thing is you have to be English medium. Then the second requirement is you will have to write one non-academic test. When I say non-academic test, I mean a test which could be like UCAT or BMAT, which stands for United Kingdom Clinical Aptitude Test. So ये एक clinical aptitude test होगा. I'll tell you more about this test, or a biomedical aptitude test, but mostly an aptitude test का score लगेगा. If you are applying to UK universities for medicine, दोनों में से कोई भी एक test दे सकते हैं. UCAT will have more universities to it. BMAT will have lesser universities affiliated to them. But the top university, Oxford University or Cambridge, वो दोनों BMAT का score लेते हैं, UCAT का score नहीं लेते हैं. But if you're not very keen on Oxford, Cambridge, and then you're okay with other universities like Manchester and all, उनमें UCAT का score चल जाएगा. So you will need a test score which will be a non-academic test जो आपको देना पड़ेगा along with your board marks. What else is required? तो ये टेस्ट के बारे में मैं आपको आगे और बताता हूँ. You will require an IELTS score. IELTS, it stands for International English Language Testing Services. Now, since Indians are considered as non-native English speakers, you'll have to write an IELTS exam as an English requirement. IELTS exam is out of 9 points. They will need a minimum of 7 points. आपको IELTS में minimum 7 लाना है 9 में से. IELTS has 4 section. हर section का एक sub score होता है. उसमें हर section के sub score में above 7 and overall also above 7 का score लाना है. So an IELTS score will be required. This is your third requirement. Fourth requirement is more exhaustive in nature, where you'll have to create personal statements, write essays, get recommendation from your teachers and professors, create a resume, submit your financial support document to show that you can afford the course fee. So all this would be required, and ये सब कुछ UCAS के through होगा. If you are applying to UK universities, so University College Admission Services, UCAS के through, you will have to submit all of this, all your scores, all your documents. So this is required. And lastly, there could be some universities which will ask you to sit for interview. After you apply, if you meet their basic eligibility and if they see an interest in you, rather if they are interested in your profile, some of med schools or med universities may want you to sit for interview. Interview में क्या होने वाला है? Interview में आपने जो personal statement create किया था, they are going to discuss that. They'll ask about you, if there's a work experience, whatever professional academic experience you have. So interview would be largely around that. So some universities may look into it. So how do you know whether it will happen or not? Largely, when we are applying to universities, we'll have to look into their requirements, and we'll see that some universities will want you to go for interview, some will have it as optional, and some may not have any interviews. So largely these are, I should say, 5 broad requirements if you're looking for UK Med School. Let me go ahead. What is UCAT? What is this exam all about? UK Clinical Aptitude Test. Like I said, this is an aptitude test. This is not about your subject knowledge, but it is more about your reasoning skills and aptitude skills and analytical skills. So it's an admission test which is used by consortium of UK universities. Out of 45, I would say there would be some 35 universities out of them which would use UCAT scores for their medicine or dental program. So all your applications are done through UCAS, ये एक body है, and test is UCAT. तो आपको UCAT का test देना है, फिर UCAS के collaboration में will apply. When you are applying through UCAS, you can apply to maximum of 4 programs. UCAT is a 2-hour computer-based test. The entire test is divided into 5 sections. So it's a computer-based 2-hour test. There are multiple centers in India where you have to book an appointment, you go there and you write that test. Pearson VUE is an agency जिनको globally ये test conduct करने का right दिया गया है by these universities. So you will see in India it is conducted by Pearson VUE, and that's a company which conducts UCAT. So you have to book an appointment and write this test. So as I speak to you, this is the month up till September where they have opened their registration window. आपको register करके ये test लिखने जाना है. A very important thing to note about this test is, let's say you are looking into application admission year 2023. अगर आपको 2023 में admission चाहिए, you should be writing this test in the year 2022. मतलब almost a year in advance, you will have to write your test. So if you see this, अभी मैं आगे आपको timeline समझाता हूँ. UCAT happens every year between July to September. ये test चलते रहते हैं. You get your score. By October you apply for admission to next year. तो अगर आपको fall 23 में जाना है, आपको possibly 1 साल पहले ये test लिखना है. UCAT का test आपको लिखना है. Let me go ahead. So more about this, like I said, the application window this year is from 11 July to 29 September. So this is when you will register and you will write your test. There are no negative marking for any incorrect answer. For first 4 sections, your score would range between 300 points to 900 points, which means for first 4 sections, your score would be reported from 1200 minimum to 3600 maximum. The 5th section, which is a situational judgment section, तो ये भी MCQ based है, but ये situational judgment section है. You are scored between 4 band, band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4. ऐसे आपका score report होता है. Band 1 is the highest that you can get. तो पहले 4 section, which is verbal reasoning, decision making, quantitative reasoning, mathematics जिसको आप बोलते हैं, and abstract reasoning, which could be in form of visual reasoning. So ये सब reasoning के sections हैं. Verbal is English, decision making, so there's some dilemma and you have to take a decision. Quantitative reasoning and abstract reasoning. Now, if you see the nature of this exam, they're not talking about your biochemistry, physics, mathematics, subject knowledge. It's more on reasoning that they would want you to test you on. But बाकी चीजें, subject knowledge आपके 12 board के marks से पता चलती है. Situational judgment is again MCQ based reasoning section. तो आपका score 1200 से लेके 3600 में आता है, and any score above 2800 is considered good, competitive, and you stand a good chance. Of course, given other requirements. So these are the 2 tests. We recommend UCAT. I'll quickly take up this slide and then we can discuss more later. So in case you go for BMAT, like I said, university like Cambridge and Oxford, they would accept BMAT and not UCAT. So आपको तब तो BMAT ही देना पड़ेगा. BMAT will also have a section which is very similar to UCAT. Only thing is वो questions jumbled up होंगे. Plus there will be some additional questions on your scientific knowledge, and they would want to test you on that. And there will be a section where you'll have to also do reasoning based on your argument. So argument based एक section होगा, scientific knowledge पे एक section होगा. Otherwise, it is similar to what UCAT is. So we recommend UCAT because it becomes more manageable. Now, how do you apply? When do you apply? So here are some timelines. So application to you for studying medicine in UK would be directed through this portal called UCAS. इस पे profile create करके हमको application करना है. We can apply to maximum of 4 medical courses. So let's say हमने 4 course choose किया from 4 different universities, or there could be courses from same universities, but they would be counted separately. आप ऐसे 4 courses में apply कर सकते हैं. Depending upon your profile, you will get call from one of them, or you may not get call. If you get a reject, then you again get an option to reapply. All applications you will have to do a year in advance, and deadline is always 15th October of that year for admission for next year. Semester beginning next year September, आपका deadline होगा previous year का October तक. Now let's look at timeline. I'm talking here largely for students who have come to their 11th standard now. जो अभी 11th में आ गए हैं from their 10th, either they have got their 10th board result state board में, या अभी वो wait कर रहे हैं. Result could come anytime in next couple of weeks. So the timeline says that you should, if you are very keen, you should start preparing right now. Go for preparation for UCAT, July to December, take break for your 11th final exams. And again, April to June 23, which is next year, you continue with your preparation. You do more mock testing, do more practice exercises. You appear for your UCAT exam next year. जब आप 12th में आ गए होंगे, जुलाई से सितंबर के बीच में, like I said, it is appointment based. So कोई appointment आप जुलाई से सितंबर के बीच में लेंगे, depending upon what the test center of your city where you are taking test dates are available. What do they say on dates availability? उस हिसाब से you take test. You appear for that, and then you apply to these universities sometime in October next year. So by October you file your application 15th October tak. Once you do that, you'll get calls for interview. You'll get your final admits Jan से लेके May 24 के बीच में, and your 12th board exam result, 12th board exams rather would happen March 24. जब आप 2024 में जाओगे, उसके मार्च में you are writing the 12th exams. साथ साथ में आपको आपके इंटरव्यूज के कॉल्स आ सकते हैं या फाइनल एडमिट लेटर आ सकता है. All the way up till May 24, all results are declared, including अगर इंटरव्यू हुआ है तो भी. So this is a timeline for 11th. We have not done any timeline for 12th standard student, because if you are in your 12th standard, it really depends. Have you really prepared for UCAT exam? If you have done so, good enough. If you have not, then possibly you'll have to look for some help and talk to us separately. And you'll have to take exam now. अभी registration open है, exams हो रहे हैं. अभी से लेके September तक में आपको exam लेना है for admission next year. Because UCAT preparation थोड़ा सा extensive है. We have not done such kind of reasoning before. So training is required. A serious preparation is required with your school studies, because 12th का भी important है. School studies के साथ आपको वो करना है. What is the cost of education for UK specifically? So tuition cost and living cost, I've broken it into 2 buckets. 1 year tuition cost could be anywhere, and it's a huge range, 22 lakhs to 50 lakh rupees per annum. So for a 5-year course, it can go up to 2.5 CR. On an average, ये कुछ 40 लाख के आसपास बैठना चाहिए. So 2 CR is what you are looking at as your tuition cost. Another 10 to 12 lakh rupees per annum as your living cost, which means another 50-60 lakh रुपए over 5-year period as your living cost. Now, this is assuming you get no scholarship, there are no tuition fee waivers, no internship. If you do get scholarship, जो कि possible है second year onwards, if you do well academically, if you get some on-campus job, internships with professors or otherwise, this cost would come down. But overall, mentally, ट्यूशन प्लस लिविंग कुछ 2.5 करोड़ के आसपास खर्चा आना चाहिए for a 5 year of education. Coming down to our UCAT program, like I said, it is targeted for 11th standard students. We do 2 modules. We do a training module where we do UCAT training and IELTS training. पूरा training का काम हम करते हैं. We train you for UCAT, we train you for IELTS English exam, and then we help you with all your application support, where we help you with application, personal statement, university shortlisting, filling up the form, applying to university, getting your documents ready, all the way up till your admit decision. हम आपको help करते हैं. If you want, then we also have visa services where we help you with visa part. We have focused batches. These are small focused batches for UCAT. We are starting in July this year. We do only Sunday batches because students are engaged in other competitive or school exam preparations. So 4 hours per week, Sunday को 4-4 घंटे की classes होती हैं. This is a long 30 to 36 week program with testing. In application support, we help you with profile building, personal statements, selecting universities with all your writing requirements of letter of recommendation from your teachers. हम आपको लिख के देते हैं essays, and then we finally apply. Our batch starts from 24th July. In case you are interested, we are doing a UCAT batch which starts from 24th July. All our classes happen live on Zoom, जैसे अभी हो रहा है. So you could be from any part of the city or country. You could join our classes. These are live classes on Zoom. Now, I think this is the time where I'll hand it over to Anubhav sir so that he can take you with the US part of medical education. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Manishji. So, we've understood the UK model, and as you would have realized in the UK model, you have to plan pretty early. Literally, if you wish to get in an admission, if I could take a conclusion and wrap it up very quickly, up today in 11th, you have to decide to start preparing for UCAT. Agle saal you will write the UCAT ka exam, or uske agle saal you will enter the college. So it's an extensive preparation. Then only would you be able to go ahead with your dreams of the UCAT UK colleges. Now let's talk about the US journey. So allow me to share the screen, and I will also, we have this PPTs. The way we have done it is we are collaborating among ourselves, and I would continue from where Manish left. Now I would get into medical education in the USA. So medical education in the USA is, first I'll answer that same question which Manish answered, why USA? Well, the top 20 medical schools of the country which are listed over here: Harvard, New York, Duke, Columbia, Stanford, University of California, San Francisco, Johns Hopkins, University of Washington, UPenn, Yale, Mayo School Clinic. So these are the world #1 universities mein rank aate hain inke. They are pretty good. So it's a good idea to dream of studying from these universities. The education gap, as you would have seen, in India is pretty huge. 80,000 seats ke samne 14 lakh aspirants. So we have a huge demand supply gap. Can we get here? The admission here, what is the process? That's what I will also be now talking about. If you are looking to get into the US. So what is the US medical program? Let me give you an overview of it. Sabse pehle to you have to understand ki in the US, after 12th, you do not get into an MBBS admission. You have to get into any undergrad admission. And this would be a normal undergraduate. You would be doing a BSc jaisa undergrad karenge aap 4 saal. It would not give you an MBBS degree. This is very, very important for all of the participants to understand this. And after you have done your 4 years of undergraduation, then you would get into a med school, which would last you for another 3 to 4 years. And after that, you would get a residency, which would be 3 to 6 years. This is how the structure is. So agar aap isko samjhenge, so primarily, if you will understand what are the exams, इस अंडरग्रेड के लिए घुसने के लिए you have to appear for a SAT exam. So in the US, आपको वो जो पहली सीढ़ी चढ़नी है उसके लिए you have to appear for the SAT exam. उसके बाद you have to appear for an MCAT exam that you will not appear right now. You will appear after your 4 years of undergrad. And then for residency, you have to appear for USMLE exams in the US. So you would go through this entire process, which may take you 11 to 14 years to complete this entire process. This is the US journey for becoming an MD. I'll wait, do a pause for 2 seconds over here before I move on. So UT will train students for the first level exams, which is going from 12th to that undergrad, SAT, TOEFL, IELTS, हम इसकी ट्रेनिंग करेंगे. हम उसका application support provide करेंगे. UT will get you admission in the best undergraduate program. But MCAT USMLE will be handled by student independently, and that would be at a later point of time after 4 years. So is चीज को, let me put it on the graphic again. Remember this graphic जो अपन ने बनाया था? So इस graphic में UT यहाँ पे आपकी help करेगा. UT would help you here. And ये सारा काम you would later on do it after 4 years. Again, I'll do a pause for 2 seconds before I continue. Okay. So having said this, let's now move on and understand कि हम undergrad के लिए कैसे prepare करेंगे. So SAT वो exam क्या है? Let's very quickly understand what is SAT. SAT is conducted by College Board worldwide, which is admission to undergraduate courses after standard 12 of major universities of the world. These could be in US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, कहीं पे भी आप जा सकते. India also accepts that. So, but we are largely talking about US right now. So a syllabus has 3 parts. One is reading, writing, and then maths. So these are the 3 parts. The total time is 3 hours, 150 questions. It's a multiple choice questions. SAT has multiple choice questions. No negative marking, pencil and paper based test. Score ranges between 400 to 1600. SAT is conducted multiple times in a year: May, August, October, December, and March. The test fees is $109. It can be taken multiple times. Scores of all attempts are reported, and all scores are valid for 5 years. So what are the key findings of the SAT exam? It's only a test of maths and English. Syllabus up to standard 10th level only. Can be prepared well in 3-4 months. इसमें ज़्यादा तैयारी की ज़रूरत नहीं है. 3-4 महीने की तैयारी is good enough. Demands conceptual understanding, can be attempted multiple times. Scores are valid for 5 years. So what are the other exams? IELTS, TOEFL. Both are tests of English as a foreign language. ये बहुत simple eligibility exams हैं, computer based tests हैं. They almost happen daily in the country. Scores are valid for 2 years. They are testing on 4 parameters: reading, writing, speaking, listening. TOEFL training we do for about 3 weeks. हमारे 2 batches आते हैं, मई में और नवंबर में. आप कभी भी किसी एक बैच में आ सकते हैं. IELTS we have rolling batches. आप हर मंडे को ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. 3 हफ्ते में हम IELTS के लिए तैयार करते हैं. So TOEFL, IELTS are simple exams. What are the other requirements? सर ने ऑलरेडी इसके बारे में बात करा है, तो मैं बहुत क्विकली जाऊंगा. एकेडमिक रिकॉर्ड्स चाहिए, स्टैंडर्ड 9, 10, 11, 12 के मिड टर्म ग्रेड, स्कूल अकम्प्लिशमेंट्स चाहिए, एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज चाहिए, कम्युनिटी सर्विस चाहिए, स्कोलास्टिक कंपटीशन सर्टिफिकेट्स चाहिए. ये सब चाहिए टू बिल्ड योर प्रोफाइल. Other requirements, LOR चाहिए from your teacher, 3 teachers minimum, जो आपकी 11, 12 की teachers हैं. Application चाहिए, personal essays चाहिए, statement of purpose चाहिए, और जिसमें आप अपने personal interest and career goals के बारे में बात करें. So all of these are the requirements. So you need SAT, you need TOEFL, IELTS में से एक, and this profile. ये 3 चीजें चाहिए. Once you've got all these 3 things, how can it be made a good plan B? इसको आप कैसे, timeline क्या है इसकी? Let's understand. The strategy is take up SAT as early as possible after standard 10th. That's the strategy. तो मैं एक timeline आपको देता हूँ. उससे पहले take SAT exam in 11th. Indian exams 12th के बाद होते हैं, तो इससे आपको बहुत समय मिलता है Indian exams को पढ़ने के लिए. So it's a good backup plan. So अगर आपको ये करना है तो जल्दी चालू करें. So what is this? 11th timeline. इतने सारे attempts हैं, December 22, March 23, May 23, August 23, October 23, इसमें आप SAT के लिए UT has 5 batches. हमारे 5 batches. December का batch is now going to begin in the month of August. We are right now in the month of July. First week August में ये December का batch चालू होगा. 3-4 महीने में हम SAT को तैयार कर देंगे. If you wish to appear for a second attempt, you can do it in March, May, August, October कभी भी. And इनके बैचेस भी मार्च का बैच नवंबर में चालू होगा, मई का बैच जनवरी में चालू होगा, अगस्त का बैच अगले साल मई में चालू होगा, अक्टूबर का बैच जून में चालू होगा. ऐसे we have 5 batches coming up every 3-4 months at UT. So आप इनमें से कुछ भी चूज कर सकते हैं to prepare for SAT. Apply. Then जैसे सर ने UK का बोला था, US में भी वही सेम विंडो आएगी. अगले साल अक्टूबर दिसंबर में you will make an application. You would do the university application, अपने यूनिवर्सिटी सिलेक्ट करेंगे और उनको अप्लाई करेंगे. देन आपके एडमिट्स दिसंबर से मार्च में आना शुरू हो जाएंगे. अभी तक आपने 12th का बोर्ड एग्जाम लिखा नहीं. You have, this is where you will write your 12th board exam. So this is again the timeline for standard 11 students. And you would decide in May 24 and fly in August 24 में आप you would go to your respective college for your 4-year undergrad. Again, I'll do a pause for 2 seconds on this slide. You can note down your questions and me and Manish would answer those questions at the end of the presentation. Chaliye, let's move on. What are UT's SAT programs? जैसे UCAT के हैं वैसे ही हमारे SAT programs हैं. We are doing training for SAT plus TOEFL IELTS and we are doing application support. SAT training अभी हो रही है, application support अगले साल में. What is these? SAT, there are rolling batches, 5 batches in a year. April, June, August, November, January are when the batches begin. April batch prepares you for the August attempt, June batch prepares you for the October attempt, August batch prepares you for the December attempt, November batch prepares you for the March attempt, and January batch prepares you for the May attempt. And classes are held 4 hours per week, basically 2 days, 2 hours per day. And it's an 18-week program. 18 week is about 4.5 months. उसमें ये तैयारी हो जाती है. New batch is now starting on 24th July 2022. Application support is something जैसे उसमें सर ने बताया UK में, here also you need an application support for profile building, for university selections, LORs, essays. That would happen next year. You can get enrolled in this. First is the training. Second is the application support. And then you apply to the universities. So these are the SAT programs. Again, classes will be held online. Physical classes are being conducted at Kharghar and Sanpada. So there are 2 centers where physical classes are being conducted, Kharghar and Sanpada. Classes, so if you are staying close to these locations, you can join us physically, or if you're away from these locations, you can join us on Zoom. All classes have online coordinator, online assignments and tests, subjective assessments. And who's the faculty team? Faculty team is myself, Manish, Nandini, Joseph, Uday, and there's one more faculty who नए join करे उनका मैंने नाम नहीं डाला है. But this is the faculty which is going to train you for SAT. Who are our successful students? We had Ashwin Deshpande, who scored 3rd rank in India with a 1560 on 1600 at SAT. He got a full 800 on 800 in maths, English 760. He's now going to Purdue University. This year he's he's already got his visa and everything. He's now going to Purdue University. Then we had Samarth, who got an Ivy League admit. He was a last year student. He was with our associate globalizer and he got a full 100% funding scholarship. These are the other students who have been study abroad achievers, who have gone to various other universities for pursuing different undergrads at US universities or abroad. Typically आपके SAT score के depend करता है कि आपको किस university में admit मिलता है. If you have typically a SAT score of 1500 plus and an overall percentage of 9, 10, 11 between 90 to 95 to 100% के बीच में है, then your chances of getting into a top 25 college is very high, and so on and so forth. So if you are in 1400 plus and 85% and above, then top 50, 1200 plus and 75% and above than top 100, 1000 plus or 60% and above than top 200 universities in the world. So these are the rough idea for you to know कि आपके क्या score पे किधर admission मिलेगा. What are the top 100 ranked universities country wise? So इससे आप decide कर सकते हो आपको कहाँ जाना है. So that's why pop US, because 31 universities out of the top 100 are part of this. That's why US is a very popular choice. What are the costs? There are 3 buckets: economical, mid-range, and premium. Economical, this is the budget which you are looking at. 1 year 15 to 25 lakhs, so 4 साल का 60 to 1 CR. Mid-range 25 to 40 lakhs per year, 4 years का 1 CR to 1.6 CR. Premium 1 year 40 to 60 lakhs, 4 years 1.6 to 2.4 CR. इसमें रहना, खाना, पीना सब कुछ include हो गया, including tuition fees and everything. So this is how I say, this is how this entire budget is. Are you chances of scholarship? Yes. At the time of application, थोड़ी कम होती है scholarship. This is very few. But once you go there, second year onwards, after joining the campus, you may get a TARA, teaching assistant, research assistant, or a laboratory assistant. You get paid stipend, merit scholarship. Then chances of scholarship are pretty high. 80% students get this scholarship. So my parents को I generally advise करता हूँ. ये I'll go back to my previous slide. इधर normally जब मैं पेरेंट को बोलता हूँ कि बजट इज अराउंड सपोज 1 से 1.25 करोड़ का बजट है, तो पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं अनुभव सर ने 1 करोड़ बोला है तो मतलब 4 साल में काम खत्म होते होते 1.25 करोड़ तो लग ही जाएगा, तो 1.25 करोड़ का बजट करो. नो, दैट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट स्कॉलरशिप्स. आप 1 करोड़ मैं बोल रहा हूँ तो आपका काम 70-80 लाख रुपए में हो जाएगा 4 साल because of that scholarship. So this is what is the scholarship, because about 80% students get scholarship at least going on campus जाने के बाद. So वो काफी easy. Hold on to your questions. Education loans, yes, easily available. Loan in name of students against mortgage, parent act as guarantors. Flexible repayment terms. First payment happens after 6 years. General tenure is 15 to 20 years. SBI is one of the most common banks जहाँ से बहुत अच्छे loans मिल जाते हैं. Interest rates as low as 7 to 8%. Have our students processed education loans? Yes. General loan amount is anywhere between 50 lakhs to 1 CR तक के लोन बहुत आसानी से प्रोसेस. What are the advantages? It's a very flexible, more options. इधर मैं 1 मिनट स्पेंड करना चाहूंगा. UK मॉडल में you are very sure कि मेरे को मेडिकल करना है, then UK मॉडल works. US मॉडल में बच्चे को एक ऑप्शन मिलता है कि वो फ्लेक्सिबल है. 4 साल अंडरग्रेड करने के बाद उसका मन बदल जाता है, नहीं मेरे को मेडिकल में नहीं जाना है, मेरे को बायोमेडिकल रिसर्च में जाना है या कोई दूसरी लाइन में जाना है, वो ऑप्शन भी है. So it has more options. That's what I mean by very flexible, more options. Disadvantage, it is long time costly and आपको डायरेक्टली मिला. So this is the US का disadvantage. चलिए, we started with lots of questions. Me and Manish tried to cover this very long topic. इसको जितना हम दोनों समेट सके हमने समेटने की कोशिश करी and tried to give you a basic overview. Do you have answers? I think you must have answers to maximum questions. हमने कोशिश करी है, but you may have some more questions. So उसके लिए you can meet us separately. Take an appointment with Surjeet, call her, fix an appointment with me or Manish, and we will be available online, either Zoom पे या physically at Kharghar, and you can come and discuss with us. And then you can decide to enroll. So you can note down the number of Surjeet. Surjeet's number is 9888-199-826. And her email is utnmsurjeet@gmail.com. Now, if I'll wait for 2 seconds, you can take a click or photograph of this if you wish. And then I would flash a number where you want to come and meet me and do a profiling of your child, either me or Manish, then you can also do that. Again, Surjeet is available and we'll be more than happy to provide you a customized solution कि आपके बच्चे के लिए क्या ज़्यादा अच्छा है. If you want a PDF of this PPT, then send a hi to this WhatsApp number 77 10004690 इस पे एक हाई लिखिए and then you can do. Now we are both available for question answers. So whatever questions you have, please do let us know your questions. You can unmute yourself and ask questions. We are done. Thank you very much for listening through the PPT. Yeah, now we are available for question answers. Before I take the question from Richie, there is a feedback link. Please click on that feedback link and help me and Manish. We put in a lot of work in these presentations. Aapko ye presentation kaisi lagi? We would appreciate a small feedback on that. So it's in your chat box. Agar aap usko click karke hamari help karenge to it will help us. Yes, Mrs. Richie, please unmute and ask a question.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Hello, madam.
Yes, my son, he's in the first year of his NEET examination preparation, like. So he's not taken maths, and SAT includes maths also. So is that math syllabus helpful for him?
Sir, I'll take the question.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, that SAT maths is only up to standard 10th level ka maths. So वो एक basic quantitative maths है. It is not the 11th, 12th calculus mathematics is not part of it. So it's only quantitative, basic ratio, proportion, algebra, geometry जो उसने 10th standard तक पढ़ी है वही पूछी जाती है.
And same goes for English also?
English is very simple, basic English.
And one more thing, sir. If we plan to do a 3 years MBBS in India only, and there is, after that, is there any like study abroad courses, if you can guide on that, like?
Ma'am, then you have to appear for USMLE exams. It's not 3 years, it would be 5.5 years of MBBS in India. Uske baad you have to appear for USMLE exams, which are conducted in India, and then you can do your MD abroad. Wo would be a completely separate thing that you can do. Wo option available hai. And those are different set of exams. Those are very technical exams, which are after your MBBS.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Any more questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, thank you so much for your information. Sir, I wanted to have knowledge about masters. My daughter is already doing bachelor's in physiotherapy, and she wants to do masters from abroad.
Okay.
So I want to have a knowledge about that.
So, Mrs. Chokhani, what we can do is we have shared this number. उस पे आप कॉल करके एक टाइम लें because we'll have to understand that physiotherapy में आप कर रहे हैं, so are you changing stream? आपको MS करना है, physiotherapy में करना है, psychology में करना है, hospital administration में करना है. So they are not. तो वो हम आपके साथ मैडम one-on-one बैठ के and then we can talk about it and suggest you what best you can do, which countries you can do from, because there is UK, Ireland, US, Canada. So बहुत सारे options हैं उसके लिए.
Okay.
So I'll advise ma'am कि आप एक time लेके हमसे one-on-one मिलें. Either you come to our office at Kharghar or we can meet on Zoom like this. हम मैं sir और आप and then your daughter. We can sit, discuss and we can counsel you, ma'am.
She's in the 3rd year right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
is this early?
No, this is not early because physiotherapy is a 4-year course if I understand correctly.
4.5.
4.5 with that half year, 6 months of practical training and internship.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is not early because you'll have to write some exams and then you'll have to apply. So आपको exam लिखने में कुछ 12 से 15 हफ्ते लगेंगे. So it is important that she prepares and then writes. So I'll not say you are early. I'll say you are right time right now.
Okay.
Yes. So you should start those discussions. I think आप सही कर रहे हैं. आप वो discussions को formally start कर सकते हैं.
Okay. So can you share me your contact number?
हाँ, एक मिनट. सर आप कर रहे हैं क्या PPT शेयर?
हाँ, मैं शेयर करता हूँ. मैम वही मिसेस सुरजीत के साथ आप लीजिए.
Okay. I got it.
ये नंबर है 9888199826 and the email is utnmsurjeet@gmail.com.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
You can take a snap of this.
Yeah.
Rutu
Okay.
Pote. You can ask your question.
Yes, sir. Right now, my daughter is in 12th standard.
Yes, madam.
Then how she is going UCAT? She hasn't yet prepared for it.
So if your daughter, and what's the name of your daughter, madam?
My daughter's name is Rutupote, actually.
Okay, okay. So for Rutu, you know what she can do now is, now since she has not prepared for UCAT and she is in 12th standard. So sir, आप add कीजिएगा. I have one small suggestion for you, Mrs. Pote. What she
Yeah.
can do is she should register herself immediately. तो जब वो register करेंगी Pearson View पे खुद को, you will see that Pearson on the registration side they will ask you for a convenient date. तो वो जो last attempt का date है, which will come sometime in September, she should do that. वो registration करे. And from here to September, she has some 2.5 months. 2.5 months is like 70 odd days she has. So uske liye, you know, you can talk to us. We can do some customized program, but it will all have to be done in a compressed manner और 12th के साथ वो करना पड़ेगा. तो मतलब वो एक चैलेंज तो है, बट उसका वे आउट यही है कि अभी पूरे 70 दिन हमको पैरेलली 12th के साथ इसकी तैयारी करनी पड़ेगी. एंड लास्ट पॉसिबल डेट जो हो सकता है लास्ट वीक का सितंबर का जो मिले, वी शुड रजिस्टर फॉर दैट.
Okay, no issue.
तो आपको
can
तीन
you-
चीजों पे काम करना है, ट्रेनिंग ऑफ यूकैट, ट्रेनिंग ऑफ आइल्स. सो 2 ट्रेनिंग करनी है आपको. एंड द सेकंड पार्ट इज एप्लीकेशन, यूनिवर्सिटी शॉर्टलिस्टिंग, क्योंकि दिस ईयर बाय 15th October you should file your application.
Okay, okay. Can you share the link, please?
Yeah, we'll share this number, madam, where you can call up Miss Surjit and take appointment. She can help you with counseling and also with the customized program, enrollment, वो सब में help कर देगा.
मैडम ये नंबर है मिसेस सुरजीत का. This is where you have to call up and take appointment.
No, sir.
9888 UTNM surjeet@gmail.com.
No, sir. I have this Mrs. Surjit's number. I want the link.
For registration, UCAT registration.
Yeah.
मैडम वो लिंक आपको UCAT का वेबसाइट पे मिल जाएगा. आप लिख लीजिए. UCAT वेबसाइट इज ucat.ac.uk.
Okay.
ucat.ac.uk, and you will find the registration link on that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, Mrs. Richi Jain, please ask your question.
So, as I said, my son is in the first year for his NEET preparation. Like right now, he's in his 11th grade. So this is the right time for him to appear for, like, to prepare for UCAT, right? And
Absolutely.
he'll be appearing for the next year.
Yes.
So how long is what is the duration of the course UCAT come?
So, madam, how we have designed UCAT, क्योंकि एकदम जैसा आप बता रहे हैं, Mrs. Jain, this is how students are engaged in. They are with their school, then they are also preparing for NEET. तो उनके पास समय नहीं होता है during the week. The way we have designed the program is, this is basically a 30 Sunday program. Every Sunday we meet for 4 hours. और ऐसे कुछ 30 Sundays हम मिलते हैं. Plus then there are some testing Sundays where student would write number of tests. तो अगर आप इसको इस तरह से देखेंगे with breaks and all, by April or May next year ये प्रोग्राम जाके खत्म हो जाता है with testing. And
But
then you
sir,
write
again,
July.
Sundays also they have their NEET का test every Sundays. So
हाँ, तो वो मैडम हमारा फ्लेक्सिबल प्रोग्राम है where date and time, वो संडे का टाइम we decide as per batch convenience. But वो एक stretch तो लगेगा if you are planning to create a worthy parallel option.
so it can be online also. The course can be online,
Yes.
because we stay very far from your location.
Yes, ma'am. So
And
this
how about the test?
test would be through an online portal, क्योंकि आप anyway ये online test होता है computer based. So there will be an online portal on which your son would write these tests.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sabrina, please unmute and ask your question.
Hello, sir. I am actually in my second year MBBS. I have already completed it. And I want to know, is there any like transfer options to the UK or US?
Yes, there are, Sabrina. There are international transfer options, and these are absolutely profile based, number of credits you have done, what courses you have done, and requirements of university. So this is not only student dependent, these options are also university dependent. So आपका profile बनाना पड़ेगा, target universities को search करना पड़ेगा, and then we'll be able to suggest something. But short answer is yes, international transfers do happen in even in medical courses.
Okay, sir. So do I have to write like all the exams after 12th? Like, should I again start like from scratch, like from first year? If I'm going like to the US, there is a 4-year
No, you
undergraduate.
lose your 2 years of study in India. You shouldn't be doing that. But that's our suggestion, matlab, but I don't think that's an ideal thing to do. You could do two things. You complete MBBS in India, or you look for the transfer, international transfers.
So, sir, if I'm
Without
looking
losing
for
them.
international transfers, I would get it in the same year, right?
Yes.
Yes, without losing
Okay.
any year. Yeah. So you lateral entry बोलते हैं इसको. तो आप उसके second या third year में whatever you have done here, you will get an entry there.
But that would be only available in UK or Canada or Australia. It would not be available in US because the US system does not work in the MBBS way. And
Yes.
that too very specific selected university, that research you have to do it yourself. Will we be able to help you in that? No, we do not have expertise in that transfer, but the transfer option is available. We do not have expertise in that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Aditya Doshi, you can unmute and ask a question.
हेलो हाँ सर एक्चुअली अंडरग्रेड में कौन से मतलब कौन सा फैकल्टीज अवेलेबल स्पेशलाइजेशन अवेलेबल है यूएस में
So the world is open to you, whatever you want.
So if you
Anything and everything on earth is available to you. You want in engineering, you want in
no for the medical purpose only I'm asking.
So medical maybe sir, you have to get into a BSc degree.
Okay.
BSc may you would get into biology, life sciences. Sir, theoretically,
Zoology, marine biology. मतलब sir, you can think of a stream and it will be there. It could be physiotherapy, pharmacy. So for a जो सर बोल रहे हैं वो BS डिग्री करना है आपको, कोशिश करके वो लाइफ साइंसेज या प्योर साइंसेज के पास में करना है, एंड फिर वो आगे एग्जाम देना है 4 साल का. एंड देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कोर्सेज.
And then how is MCAT? मतलब it's a tough or relatively how it is?
it's a tough. Sir, मतलब MCAT in the US is जैसे अपने इंडिया में IIT NEET है, which are the top entrance exams. वैसे US में लॉ स्कूल के एडमिशंस के बाद मेडिकल स्कूल्स के एडमिशंस आ जाते हैं. दे आर द टॉप मोस्ट और द प्रीमियम एडमिशंस इन द कंट्री. सो they are difficult, but a good student does crack them. There's enough supply which is available. It's not a restricted supply.
Okay.
in any case, if we cannot,
And if any case if child doesn't मतलब
He
cannot
cannot.
crack it, then other options.
सर अदर ऑप्शंस आर द वे इट इज. जैसे मैंने बोला अंडरग्रेड आपने करी है, देखिए अंडरग्रेड आपने अगर साइकोलॉजी में करी है, फिजियोथेरेपी में करी है, फार्मेसी में करी है, बीएस करा है, तो आप उसके मास्टर्स में जा सकते हैं, उसके पीएचडी में जा सकते हैं. वो तो सारे ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है ही ना, मेड स्कूल नहीं हुआ तो.
Okay. So hospital administration also the part of this stream?
Yes, absolutely.
You could get into Masters of Hospital Administration.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes, sir. And it's an open stream. उसमें science, maths, engineering, bio वाले कोई भी जा सकते हैं hospital administration.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Mr. Salesh.
Please unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
yes, I just unmuted. The first thing, thank you both of you. It's I mean, in a very short period of time, you gave a really nice presentation for the people like us. My daughter is just, I mean, she took the class in 11. I just want to know about the US on an MCAT basis. If you look at the end-to-end portion, then SAT plus MCAT plus end-to-end, then what could be the fee structure overall? Just a tentative figure.
मैंने एसएटी का बता दिया आपको फीस
Exactly, SAT का you shared that.
हाँ, तो दैट इज द फर्स्ट 4 years. उन्हीं को आप आगे 3-4 साल के लिए आगे और ले जाइए, लेकिन उधर ना आपको स्कॉलरशिप्स बहुत ज्यादा मिल जाती हैं. तो उधर फिर उतना खर्चा नहीं आता है. मतलब देखिए रफ कॉस्ट आपकी उतनी ही रहेगी, करीब 25 से 40 लाख रुपए साल का खर्चा आता है वहां पे ट्यूशन प्लस रहने का. तो वो पहले 4 साल में ही सेकेंड थर्ड ईयर ऑनवर्ड्स वो खर्चा कम हो जाता है, बिकॉज बच्चों को बहुत सारे जॉब्स और स्कॉलरशिप्स मिलना चालू हो जाते हैं। मेडिकल स्कूल में तो इनको स्टाइपेंड मिलना चालू हो जाता है, तो वो खर्चा और धीरे धीरे कम ही होता है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं होगा, इज व्हाट आई कैन टेल। द
Okay.
सेम
So cracking a MCAT, that could be the main deal. Rather that's the main tussle as far as our student. Rest,
मेन नहीं है सर। जो अगर बच्चा मेडिकल के लिए शूट कर रहा है एंड ही इज केपेबल ऑफ दैट, तो शूट कर लेगा वो
कर लेगा. Okay, and what is the tentative costing of your fees as per Universal Tutorial for SAT? Anyway, I'll take an appointment with the Surjit and I'll ask.
Yes, sir.
I would appreciate it that way. आप individually one on one, I'll again share this screen.
Fine.
And Surjit will be able to share all of that with you. 9888.
Yeah, noted that. I noted his number. That's not an issue. I thought just to get a tentative idea. No problem.
Everything with you.
All right. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.